I've made a lot of budget bestie videos now, and in most of them there is something going on, like a dire situation, or they're massively in debt, or something's going on. But in today's budget bestie video, we're doing a budget for someone just with normal scenario, little bit of debt, but there's not much going on. It's just a normal thing and they just need a bit of help. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, Bestie. We really do. In today's video we have another installment of Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, some people find it useful to see what I might do and it might help inform some decisions for them. So this is a mum, 2 adults, 2 children in the household, a little bit of debt, just a very normal budget. So should we get into it? So Bestie, when I ask this person what their main financial goal is, they say they want to pay off debt so they can start paying off our mortgage, which I think is quite a nice thing. They've got a little bit of debt here. So they say that their debt is around £12,000, which is not a massive thing in the grand scheme of things. But when I really look at it, there's 2 loans there, but then there's also an Argos card. And an Argos card is not like a credit card, it's a store card. And there's no minimum payment on it, but they will start getting charged at 39.7%. Their main financial issue is, well, they say their husband, but they think they have too many sinking funds and outgoings. And looking at it, there aren't a great deal of sinking funds. There aren't a massive amount of outgoings. I just think, yeah. I'm looking at the outgoings here and they're not really listing how much they're spending on like groceries. They're not listing a lot of stuff. So I think there's a lot of hidden stuff where they're just being quite spendy. Maybe it's takeaways, maybe it's treating their kids. There's a lot of stuff that is kind of not shown here. So I think we need to sort of dig in, get a bit of structure for this and get a budget going. So yeah, this one is still going to be an interesting one because I just feel like it's the most normal budget bestie we've had so far. But the filming of this was not normal. We did this live over on my channel, Don't Trust Ira. Don't Trust Ira is my second channel where I do all of my lives and things like that. So if you are interested in seeing what I get up to, sometimes I'm making products, sometimes I'm doing a budget bestie, sometimes I'm unstuffing stuff. I'm doing all sorts of stuff over there. So if you haven't yet subscribed, the link is in the description, Bestie. But yeah, I think it's about time to get going with this. So let's go and let's get budgeting, Bestie. Okay, so we're here with the paycheck bill tracker. This is a wonderful thing. If you don't know about this, besties, is because it comes in a pack of 25. You get 25 sheets on here, and it's really good if you're just starting out with your budget, because if you make a mistake, you can just tear it off and start again. It's really good. I wish I had these when I started out. Right, we're gonna go into this person's budget here, but we're gonna start with income because it's pretty healthy, if I do say so myself. So first of all, they have £2,000, which is their wages. So their wages is £2,000, and then their husband's wages is 1,800, and then they have child benefit, which I'm just gonna put CB, and that's £150 per month. So getting out this bad boy, 2,000 plus 1,200 plus 150. I really should have done that in my head. So it's 3,350. I still had to look. So let's start with all of their bills. So first of all, we've got the mortgage, which is 977.81. Then they have council tax, which is £175. Then we've got gas, and this seems really high as well. It's 199.41. Would it really be that much with 4 people living in the house, or do you reckon they're in arrears or something? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's 3,950. Next, we have life insurance, and that is £53, which is very responsible. And then they have their DVLA, which is their like car tax and stuff, and that's £14.43. TV license, and that's £13.25. Then they have an account fee and a bank account fee, right? And this is breakdown cover, phone insurance for everybody in their household, which I think is really good. £17 for all of that when you've got 2 kids. I think that's really, really good. And then they have internet. And they already know what I'm going to say. So they pay £45 for it, but they have said that it's a new build house, only certain providers, and they work from home, so it needs to be fast anyway. So I assume they've done their groundwork on that. So even though £45 is quite high, I think, I think they've done all right with it. Then they've got home insurance, and that is £32.38. And then they have their Tesco Club card, and that is for, I'm talking to chat, and they say it's like you pay that and then you get 10% off 2 shops a month, up to the value of £200. So if you're spending a lot of money on groceries, I think it's actually really worth it. And then their water bill is £45. Then they have swimming lessons, which I guess I'm going to put in sinking. No, envelopes. Where am I going to put that? Swimming lessons. And they are £30. Football, which I assume is like kids things. So that's £18. And then they have a phone bill. And you're going to be surprised by the cost, but it's for 3 phones, is £149.69. So if you break that down, that's like basically 50 quid a phone. I still think that's really high. So they have Netflix, which is £10.99. And then I'm going to have to move it down here. Then they have they put Spec Ops, and we think this is, what do we think it is? So we think that's Spec Savers for maybe contact lenses. So I'm going to put Spec Ops, and that is £40 a month. And then they have £20 for miscellaneous. Yeah, and that is Ring Doorbell, Amazon Storage, iCloud. Then they have a window cleaner, which is £15, and then they have petrol, and that is £100. So those are their like outgoings there. So I think the best thing to do is add up what they all come up to. So that comes up to, that can't be right. I must have made a mistake there. No. We're going to try that again. Wow, that surprised me. So that comes up to £1,963.95. So when I take it from their £3,950, they've got £1,986.05 left over. Wow, okay. It just shows you how it all adds up. So like if you're ever in a situation where you feel like you've got a lot of outgoings, it does add up to a lot of money. So if you can make little savings by lowering your phone bill, for instance, like getting rid of some subscriptions that don't sort of give you better life quality, then it's definitely worthwhile. But we still got quite a lot of money left over here. So let's move over to the next section. The next section would be their sinking funds. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to list their sinking funds, but they haven't actually told me how much they put towards them. So I'm just going to list them. So there is a little bit of debt, but there's 3 debts. Okay, let me just list them, right? So first they've got is loan number 1, and the minimum on that is £344.29. Then they have loan number 2, and the minimum on that is £50 a month. And then they have an Argos card, and the minimum on that is £200. No, they don't have a minimum, because they're in a buy now pay later period. So the minimums on their debt, £344.29 plus 50 is £394.29. 29. Okay, so based off of what they've showed me, they should have 1,591.76 left over. But there are a couple of things that they haven't mentioned. So they haven't mentioned any spending money. They haven't mentioned any sort of groceries. They haven't mentioned electric either. So there's a couple of bits in there, but I think what I need to do is to kind of turn this upside down and then figure out what I'm going to do. It's so messy that I feel like I just need to start off with a new page. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So let's just move income all into one, and that is 3950. So I'm going to list bills, and I'm not actually going to change any of the bills whatsoever because they seem to be quite reasonable. The only thing I'd probably play around with is the phone bill because that just seems a bit too high. But I'm going to add in like an extra allowance for electricity because I feel like they've left that out of the budget. So I've done the bills here. So what I've done is I've put the two insurances into one there. And what I've also done is I've added an extra sort of 50 quid to gas and electric because I don't know if it was included in the original price. It just said British Gas, so I assume they don't get electric from them. So I've had an extra 50 quid on there just to account for if there is an electric bill that they haven't included. And then I've done all of their things into subscriptions, which have really added up into a lot of money. So I've put their Tesco into it, I've put Netflix, all of their miscellaneous things, their spec ops and their window cleaner, so that's come up to 93.98. And then I've put the swimming and the football into sports, which is 48 quid, which kind of makes a bit more sense to me now. Oh, apparently you can get electric from British Gas, so that might be the final number, but you know, I put that in anyway. So let me just quickly jot these all up together again. This comes up to 1901.29. So that's all of their bills. So when I take that from the 3950, they're left with 2048.71. Okay, so cool. So we've got petrol, and they say that they're happy spending £100 a month on petrol, but what we don't have in here is mum spending money and dad spending money. And we don't have any sort of groceries budget. So let's put in groceries there. And then I suppose that would be it, right? Maybe there's household. So mum spending and dad spending, I think probably in a 4-week month, 30 quid a week. So 120 each. Now groceries, I think probably £400 would be their limit because you can spend the pass up to £200, I've been told. So spending it twice, you get your maximum discount. So £400 working towards that. And then household, I don't know, with kids though, maybe household should be something like 80, maybe? Because you're washing more clothes, which comes up to 820. And then when we take that from the 2048.71, that gives us 1228.71. Okay, so they said in their original thing that they think that the main financial issue is that they have too many sinking funds, stroke outgoings. And I think, you know, their bills are probably pretty healthy, to be honest. And if they actually budget themselves for their groceries and household and things like that, I think it might make a bit more sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simplify the car insurance and the car maintenance into car. And then all the birthdays, I'm just going to put into birthdays. And then gifts, school, which is a really, really good one, clothing, medical, and home. So let's have a look at what they want. So basically, when I got their thing, they've said that for car insurance and car maintenance, they want at the end of the year to have £500 from car maintenance and £300 for car maintenance. So £500 plus £300 is £800. And then when I divide it by 12, it's an evil number. But if we make it £60, they're going to be just about there, right? And then for birthdays, they want £200 for one son, £200 for the other one, and then £400 for them. So that's £800 again. Is that the same number? It is. So let's do £60. And if they're constantly putting £60 in, whenever one of their birthday comes up, they've always got like the full money for it, if that makes sense. And then for gifts, they want to always have £100. So £100 divided by 12 is 8. So let's call that a tenner a month. School is £100, so let's call that a tenner. Clothing, they'd like to have £400, so let's call that 30. Medical, dental is £200, so £200 divided by 12 is 16, let's call that 20. And then for home, they'd like to have £500, divide that by 12, 41, let's call it 40. And then Christmas, I didn't put in. So Christmas, look, it fits. Christmas, 1,500 they want to have for Christmas. Divide by 12, £125 a month. Right, let's add this up. So that's 355. And the reason why I wanted to do this before I looked at any sort of debt overpayment is because I wanted to see, is what they are working towards at the moment like achievable based off of what they want. So yeah, so we've got 1228, so the mine's 1228.71, and that leaves them with 873.71. So they've still got a fair bit of money after we've really taken a lot away already. So looking at debt, so their minimums are 394.29, but I want them to start saving for an emergency fund for the first year, because Lord knows what could happen. So divide 1,000 by 12, it's 83. So let's call it 80. So I think they should have an overpayment. Let's make their total payment to debt each month 700, yeah? So £700 minus 394.29 is an overpayment of 305.71 each month, yeah? So if they got the 875.71 from up there, sorry, 873.71, then they take 700 from that for debt. That leaves them with 173.71. Maybe they might want to push that to 750 actually. Let's push that to 750 to make that 355.71. So that would be 43. Yeah, so a nice buffer of 43.71. And I think that's a reasonable budget. What do you reckon, besties? Okay, so we're here with the debt plan time. So we've got a bit of a plan for it, but I do need to talk to you about their different types of debt that they've got. So they've got 3 different types of debt. So they've got, well, no, 2. So they've got loan number 1, which is a loan with interest, and their total owing on that is 10,500, and their minimum is 344.29, yeah? And then they've got loan number 2, which is smaller, so we could do it either way round, but I would like to do the bigger one first because that's getting more interest on it. They owe 1,210, and the minimum is £50 a month. But the first one they have is an Argos card, right? So Argos cards. So let me talk to you about store cards and how they work. So they owe £210.97. Now there's no minimum payment on that until September, and then they start getting charged. Now, what people are under the misconception of is that when you take out a store card and you have your buy now pay later period or your interest free period, you think that the interest is only going to start in September. No. If you have any outstanding balance, especially the way that the Argos card works, if you have any outstanding balance at September, they will backdate the interest from the date of purchase. So there isn't interest free. It's an interest free period if you pay it off before the due date on the statement. But if you have anything left over, this is all backdated to the date of purchase. So it really, really does hurt you financially if you don't pay it off. Let's just talk about this. So we've agreed that their overpayment is 355.71. So the first thing I would do is just fully pay off the Argos card immediately. Just do it. Just absolutely do it. Get rid of it, because you could get stung so badly. So 210.97, right? This is how much interest you would accrue if you don't pay it off. So let's say, for instance, you're in a 6 months buy now pay later deal, which you probably are at that price, right? So it is divide by 100 times 39.7%. So 83.75 you'll get added onto that. So if you hadn't paid it off in September, it'd be that plus the 210.97, which is the original balance. You'd actually owe 294.72, and then you'd still continue to pay 39.7 every single month. So I would do that. I would get rid of it and never do it again, because I think they're absolutely lethal, bestie. Next, what have we got next? So I'd then tackle loan number 1, because you've got one out of the way. Let's assume that the interest is basically 344.29, yeah? So now after you've cleared off that, you're gonna have 355.71 left to make into your snowball, yeah? So 355.71 plus 344.29 is 700, yeah? So 10,500 divided by 700 means that you're going to pay this off in exactly 15 months, which is like not bad at all. So then 16 months later, once you've got that paid off, you've got the £50 plus the 700, that makes 750. You're going to have that done in less than 2 months. So this is a debt-free in 15, 16, 17, 18 months. So that's a year and a half, which is really fast considering you are in debt to the tune of 10,500 plus 1210 plus 210.97. So 12.5 grand you're in debt, and you're going to have that cleared in a year and a half if you follow the budget. So that's the budget done and dusted. I think if you're really realistic about how much you want to put into your sinking fund, and then you have a real clear debt plan, because let's be real, once this debt's gone, you've got £750 that you can start overpaying on your mortgage, depending on how much you're allowed to overpay by each sort of year. So your goals will be sort of happening, and then you can start really considering holidays, really fun things that you want to do with your kids while they're still young, so that you've got your priorities in the right place. Get rid of your debt, pay off your home as much as you can, get an emergency fund behind you. This is a really sound and reasonable, but the challenge I think for you, bestie, is going to be keeping your groceries down to about 400 and trying to make some savings in here. But yeah, as long as you're not introducing many more subscriptions, because it just shows you how quickly they sort of add up, and just being really reasonable with your money, I think you can get this done. So best of luck, bestie. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. Please let me know what you thought of this video today, and let me know if there's anything you might do as well. The true wisdom from this is what people put down in the comments. People think of things that I hadn't even thought of. It's really, really hard doing these videos sometimes, because it's hard to put yourself into somebody's situation or somebody else's scenario, because I've just never had that life experience. So to be able to see what you're putting down in the comments about what you might do is absolutely so refreshing. So please don't ever stop doing that. Thank you so much to everybody who has ever ever put a comment on and whoever's going to comment on this video, but an extra special thank you to the patrons and the channel members who support this channel on an extra special level. It truly means the world, and it really keeps the channel turning, so thank you so much. If you would like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, Bestie. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being here, and until the next budget, Bestie, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And Bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.